Pioneer coming up. I mean, Elking Thought-Knot Seer is not very good, so no. Has anyone been testing Esper Dragons? There is an Esper Dragon stack in the deck queue that we are going to get to later this week. Oh no, chat. One of the MAGA people that we banned in chat sent me an email letting me know that I've made a huge mistake by banning them for supporting a racist, sexist prick that's in the White House. What a... Oh no. I've made a huge mistake. They said I shouldn't have such a contentious topic on my stream as U.S. politics. Do you know why U.S. politics is contentious? If you're still watching, person who's upset that I banned them, it's contentious because people like you support people who are racist and sexist and xenophobic and homophobic. That's why it's contentious. Maybe if you voted for a little bit of human decency in our country, it wouldn't be so contentious. I did see Trump got booed at the World Series. God bless. More respect for baseball fans. Just have to say, I have some chips in the Mardu aggro deck in the queue. I submitted that one at the beginning of submissions. I've not played yet with 50 points. Feels kind of great. It means the queue is absolutely stacked. Yep. Yeah, we've been... Today, after we're done, we should be... After today's queue is done, the top deck will only have like 65 points or so. And we're going to get through like 10 double-digit Pioneer decks this week, so we should be pretty good. I did see the Stage War Room pick. His dad owns Twitch, Jeff. Be careful. How much to submit good modern decks like the Cryptic Urza deck? The price for submitting modern decks is now $50 moving forward. And that's to discourage submissions, so I'd rather do Pioneer. I saw your reaction video to Pioneer, and you seemed to be really upset how you plunged so much time into Arena with the thought that it was a product that would have more than standard. Have your thoughts on that changed? Do you see yourself potentially spending less time in Arena as a result? I'm imagine it's kind of weird for you, given that you make money streaming it. So, I mean, it depends on what people want to see, Ryan, and what I enjoy. At the end of the day, I'm not going to play a format I don't enjoy. So, like, part of the reason why I've pushed the Modern price up for deck lists is because I don't really enjoy playing Modern. So, yeah, I expect Modern to stay at the $50 price tag moving forward, unless something fundamentally changes in the format. I stepped out of the car this morning. I was thinking about your opinion on Trump. I thought the comments on Trump were strong for a streamer to put out there. But on the other hand, I figured it's Jeff's stream. If people don't like it, they could go somewhere else. Yeah, those are my feelings too, Malt. It's my platform and I'll do what I want. Yeah, so unless something in Modern fundamentally changes in a way that makes me enjoy it more, I don't expect to lower the price on it. And that's another thing too. People are asking like, what's the future of Arena? I'm only doing Arena one day this week, and we're going to be doing Brawl. And normally I send out a sub poll every quarter, but I'm going to send out another one this month, an emergency sub poll, to find out how people feel about the current state of Standard and Pioneer and stuff like that. Because generally I tend to try to align my content with what people want to see on top of what I'm enjoying. And like, I could probably make it some fun on Standard, but I could probably have some fun with Standard, but if I'm being completely honest, if I'm going to have the same viewer count playing a medium Standard as I do playing a sweet Pioneer format, I would rather play a sweet Pioneer format. Yeah, I agree, Bane. Pioneer is the best Magic has to offer for the next little bit. And it's obviously, everything's always in flux, right? Like when we did the last survey, I was like, well, things could change if Magic changed, and Magic changed, then things changed. So normally scheduled sub poll but at an Orthodox time, right? Yeah, something like that. All right, let's talk about this deck. Okay, so Jeskai Possibility Storm, thanks for the 9 months, Richard, so Possibility Storm, let's start with the namesake card. This is an enchantment that says, whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a card that shares a card type with it. That new spell is then cast without paying its mana cost, and the old spell goes in the bottom of your deck. So this deck with Possibility Storm is here looking to abuse the fact a little bit that these adventure creatures like Bonecrusher Giant, Brazen Borrower, and Merchant of the Veil, these cards count as creatures everywhere except when they're being cast as instants. So what this deck is trying to do is, the only instant in our deck is Possibility Storm plus these adventure creatures, or Nexus of Fate plus these adventure creatures. So if Possibility Storm is in play and we cast the instant half of any of these adventure creatures, we get Nexus of Fate. So basically, with P-Storm out, Merchant of the Veil, Bonecrusher Giant, and Brazen Borrower turn into 1 and 2 mana, take an extra turn spells. Now, Possibility Storm also has a rude interaction with Teferi Time Raveler. So Teferi Time Raveler locks your opponent out of casting spells except when the stack is empty. So if we have Teferi Time Raveler in play while we have Possibility Storm out, our opponent literally can't cast other spells. So Teferi Time Raveler plus Possibility Storm says they can't cast spells. Teferi also works well with Spell Queller because Spell Queller doesn't give them back their spell while Teferi is out. I have Fae of Wishes here, which this one's a sorcery, so this one does not find Nexus of Fate, but this does find our extra Possibility Storm out of the sideboard, plus some other utility cards. I saw someone looking up Mugging. Mugging is it's just a sorcery speed shock, basically, because we can't play Wild Slash or Shock, because playing instants ruins our ability to Possibility Storm. So, like, if we have other instants in our deck, we'll get those instead of Nexus of Fate. And then you'll also note there's one Wild Slash in the sideboard because if we use Granted, we can grab the Wild Slash to turn this into Nexus of Fate in a pinch. And this is an instant that we might get on occasion just because Granted for a shock might be something we want to do sometimes. Someone submitted, we actually played against the core of this deck in a Pioneer League last week. And then one of the viewers submitted it, and then I put some thought into it and changed around some of the details. And let's pop on in here and see how this one goes. This one's got a lot of sweet moving parts in it, and it's also just got, like, reasonable cards overall. We played a blue-white approach deck on Saturday that felt really sweet. I think that card's just too low quality over all aspects, whereas, like, Teferi is an otherwise playable Magic card. Slightly awkward start to our mana, but not too bad, I guess. I get to go Port Town tapped on 1 into Spirebluff on 2. One of the matches, Kuroki on day 2, he won by timing out his opponent and went straight to said, a stupid way to win the mirror. I mean, it does sound like a stupid way to win the mirror. He sounds correct. It does sound kind of silly. Bomat Courier here is a little bit scary. This is one of the ways red decks can generate card advantage. So it's a 1/1 for 1 with haste. And whenever it attacks, it exiles the top card of your library face down. You can pay 1 and discard your hand and sacrifice this to draw all the cards underneath it. So basically, the red deck sits there and collects cards underneath this, and then it spews its entire hand out, and then it cashes this in to draw like 2 to 4 cards a lot of the time. Hallowed Fountain's a great draw here, because it allows me to put Port Town into play untapped, which is great. So I'm going to play Spirebluff Canal on 1 here and use this Merchant of Vale. I'm probably going to cycle the Possibility Storm. Do I? Nah, probably not. Maybe I cycle the Shimmer of Possibility. Yeah, I probably don't have time to cast 2 Shimmers against aggro. And thanks, Riley, for the 2/3 beer. I've been enjoying making the Pioneer content, so it's good to have you here. Hope you make your voice heard on the sub-survey at the end of the week. To get the sub-survey as a sub, you want to make sure you have your emails enabled from Twitch or that you're in the subscriber Discord. I'll post it there as well. Can't attack alone. Are they some kind of artifact deck? Ooh. They're not mono red, they're some kind of like Affinity-S deck. This format should be called Ghosts of Standards Past. Well, I don't know if that's strictly fair to just say it's just like standard, but like, oh, that's a great draw. So that lets us kill this Bomat Courier, and that's an untapped land for it later. Perfect. Anaphylactic, thanks to 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. These people are great. Buy their stuff. Magic Online didn't definitely just crash. We'll be back with your regularly scheduled Magic in just a moment. The Vitamin String Quartet creates unique instrumental string arrangements of everything from Zelda to Zeppelin. BCW Supplies makes great card sleeves and other card accessories. Use code HOOKLANDIA to save some dollars. If you're going to buy into Pioneer and Magic Online, check out MTGO Traders. Use code Hoagland PayPal to save 8%. Card Sphere will help you turn your cards into other cards directed to the players. There's no haggling, and there's just a 1% fee. And the Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. Moto was not ready for Bonecrusher, chat. Bonecrusher was ready, but Moto was not. I thought this Moto is capable. I did. Listen. Poor NRG. Yeah, for people that don't follow NRG on Twitter, you want to hear the current state of Standard? NRG is supposed to have a Standard 5K this weekend. They only have 2 people pre-registered for the tournament, less than a week out. And they said if they don't get up to 100, they're going to be canceling their tournament. They said if they don't hit 100 pre-regs in the next day and a half. So basically their standard tournament's probably canceled. This is how you know MTGO and MTGO are related. They share a lot of same features. MTGO is taking its sweet time getting loaded back up here. Just a moment. Thankfully, we have like 8 minutes to reconnect to a Magic Online match, so apologies. Sponsors getting good sick value. Hey, thanks for the 19 months, Isha. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you are. I had invested in Moto. A decade ago, Moto would be sweet software. Like pre-Hearthstone, Moto 4 would probably be fine. Intrepidor, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. For a metric on NRG, they had 240 at their Modern event 2 weeks ago. That is a good metric. 240 people for the Modern tournament. I really hope they take a risk and drop Standard from their team tournament at the end of the month. If NRG drops standard for Pioneer at their team tournament at the end of the month, I'm probably gonna have to find a team and go. All right, are we back? We're almost back. Apologies. All right, all right. All right. Are you ready for Bonecrusher now? All right, Moto is now ready for Bonecrusher Giant. It wasn't prepared moments ago, but now things are ready. Chief of the Foundries. Other artifacts you control get +1/+1. Wild. The Atlanta Open this weekend felt half empty. There were less than 250 tables used for the main event. Yeah, there were sub 500 people for the Modern Open there. Yikes, those are some big mama jammas. This is an easy trade here. All right, so I'm excited Blue White approached it well. I played it in Standard when it was bad. I'm hoping to play it now that it's less bad. Here's hoping. Do I just Teferi bounce the Chief? I think I just Teferi bounce the Chief here. We've not played any Hardened Scales decks yet on stream, no. The biggest problem with the Moto UI is that there's no mouse overlay. I think that's the biggest thing. The only thing Arena really does better from a UI perspective is that Arena gives you the ability to the power and toughness is a little bit larger on things. Well, I guess I could wait and Shimmer at instant speed. I'm going to shock this in and pass here, I think. Just leave up Spell Queller. That's cute. Sure, you have a 0. You have a 1/1. I think I'm just gonna flash this in. Maybe I should have flashed this in and eaten this, just because if I was gonna trade this off anyways. Yeah, I think I should have countered the Chamber Sentry there. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Silver Star. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm not quite sure why they're making mana during the damage phase. Maybe they think they're in their main phase. Yeah, they probably think they're in their main phase. Brutal. I think we're dead. Are we? We're not dead on board. If they have another burn spell, we're dead, but if they don't have another burn spell, we're kind of okay. If they don't kill me this turn, I can, if they don't kill me this turn, he says before he gets Shrapnel Blast. Nyx-Fleece Ram sounds great. Oh, this destroys and gains 4, right? Oh, yeah. That sounds great. Get a mean mugging up in here. Spell Queller seems pretty medium. Royal Scions seems slow. I don't know if I want Detention Sphere. Teferi's actually probably pretty medium here too. I think I'd probably rather have D-Sphere. Yeah, Scions are the way to get Nexus back in the deck. You can also just cast it, like you can get to 7 mana. Yeah, your cards have to be sorcery, Stack Size Biscuit. Otherwise your combo stops working. Oh yeah, Merchant too. Yeah, so we have 6 ways. That seems fine. Granted only finds Wild Slash. It finds D-Sphere, Possibility Storm, and Teferi as well. So that's super inaccurate. Yes, yeah, if you draw Nexus while Possibility Storm is out, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, it gets non-creature. This card's very good. We played this card in blue-white approach. It's super strong. Anyone think the last time Standard got butchered as bad as the current one? Yeah, last year. Like, this isn't new, right? Like, Standard being bad has become the norm. Like, Standard being great for GRN, okay for Ravnica Legions, those were the exception. Like, the rule is that Standard kind of sucks. Like, for people that aren't familiar with this stream, before GRN Standard and Arena hit open beta, I only did Magic Online. Like, I was streaming full-time just doing Modern all the time. And honestly, even if it shrinks my subscriber base and my viewer base a little bit, if Standard doesn't improve, we might head back in that direction with Pioneer. This job doesn't pay enough to play a Standard format that sucks 40 hours a week. I just watched your first YouTube video. What is my first YouTube video? For people that are making card recommendations, please make intelligent, useful card recommendations. Don't just say, hey, Jeff, consider this bad card, or hey, Jeff, consider this maybe good card. Tell me why I should care. Tell me why your card is good and what I should cut and why I should cut it. Yeah, this is why I wish Pioneer was on Arena, or it's just Historic was supported, right? Oh yeah, there's some old Linux videos up there that predate my content for sure. Polly, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Is there anything that would pull me back into Modern? Modern would need to change fundamentally as a format. We're still gonna do some Modern, but I doubt Modern will ever be a centerpiece of this stream again. I also think Modern is going to shrink a little bit, and it's at the very least it's done growing, because Modern is really inaccessible compared to Pioneer. Someone who came back to MTG because of Arena and saw what Standard was. To hear that Standard is almost always rancid is so disheartening, but seeing what we have in these last couple of set releases, I can't disagree. Yeah, it is, right? Like, it just feels, and this current, you could probably argue that the current Standard we're experiencing is more offensive than like Kaladesh Standard, in large part because we had an okay Standard format and they made it actively worse with the decision that they made. I disagree with what you're saying about the field ban. We had better play. We had the same pool of cards, but I disagree with what you're saying that before the field ban, we had better Standard play. We had the same pool of cards, but we had a winning deck that had a card in it we couldn't meaningfully interact with. Hot take, Ryan. You want your blistering hot Magic take of the day? Most games of Magic aren't particularly interactive. Most games of Magic aren't particularly interactive. If you want an interactive game, you should play Hearthstone or Mythgard or one of the many other card games that has a focus on interaction. I agree with you that there wasn't good interaction with Field of the Dead, but what there was with Field of the Dead was counterplay. The format previously had a ton of play and counterplay to it. There were reasonable aggro decks that were playable that no longer exists. So we can run a mugging, so we can have supreme verdicts, we can have a way to beat go wide decks. Like, I don't know that there's a lot of go wide decks in this format. I also think that my deck has a bunch of creatures in it. So like, why do I need a sweeper to beat go wide decks? But I can just like block them and have some spot removal. It's not even just AMB, thanks for the 12 months, have a sword to go with your shield. It's not even just Oko that kills aggro. Wicked Wolf does a lot more to beat aggro than Oko does. Like, Wicked Wolf is a huge beating for aggressive decks. For Noxious Grasp, there are a lot of interaction. Yeah, Noxious Grasp. Alright, we've been shrapnel blasted. Oh. Yay, tapping mana on Moto. Alright, let's mug the gear appear here. It feels like with the field ban, we had rock, paper, scissors format where they banned rock, which made paper unplayable. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. I feel like that's exactly what happened. I'm not 100% how we win the game from here, but we'll figure it out eventually. Fire Impulse. I think Fire Impulse probably be too good. That card's just like actual Bolt too often. Alright, so now we cast Haggle, and Haggle casts Nexus of Fate. Then we cast Stomp, and Stomp casts Nexus of Fate. Now I don't know that we actually have a way to win the game from here. Like, I haven't really fully worked out what we're doing with those 2 extra turns, but my opponent is convinced that that's enough. My opponent is convinced that double time walk will kill them eventually, which is probably not an unreasonable expectation, but like, you know, alright, fair. Am I supposed to leave some of these planeswalkers in just so I have more ways to actually win the game? I'm not completely unconvinced I've cut too many win conditions. We bore them to death, something like that. I'm going to put the Royal Scions back in, and I'm going to cut these Shimmers. And I'm going to put a Teferi back in, because Teferi turns into the Royal Scions. Oh, I guess vice versa also happens too. All right, I'm just going to run it. What a silly deck. This is the memes I'm sub for. Yeah, like I said, this feels a lot like Modern did before Modern became super hostile to all the memes. Ooh, couple of creature lands could be a good suggestion, Scholar. I could see that. Wandering Fumarole kills people pretty quickly. I think it's possible for someone like me who's never played Moto to pick it up and start playing Pioneer. How much would you estimate it would cost? Well, I mean, the cost is directly tied to what you're interested in buying. So like, for example, you can go to mtgotraders.com and plug any deck list into their shopping cart and see what dollar amount it'll cost you. So like, to give you a scary number, Okos are almost $100 a piece on Moto right now. But if you're playing a non-Oko deck, it's much cheaper than that. On non-Oko, much cheaper than Oko. Chamber Sentry on 1, yep. I think I'm just going to kill their turn 1 play here. Just like mug that. We'll just curve out pretty nicely here. Just like mugging on 1. Stomp on 2. Bonecrusher on 3. Can you describe the combo? Yeah, so the only instant in our deck is Nexus of Fate. So if we cast any of our adventure instant creatures with Possibility Storm out, they turn into Nexus of Fate. How come Moto's more expensive than Paper Magic? Because secondary markets are silly. Can I submit a Hammer Time build around because Sigarda's egg is legal? I mean, maybe. I will say that I'm rejecting Pioneer decks pretty aggressively at the moment because I currently have a huge backlog, which is like a pretty good problem to have, all things considered. But yeah, there's currently a very large backlog of Pioneer decks. To give you context, after playing 12 Pioneer decks over the weekend, I currently have twice as many Pioneer decks waiting to be played as I do Standard and Modern combined. A dual color set newest card being in the $100 range is fine, totally fine, not indicative of any problem. Yep. Got to Deck in Stone, which lets them draw cards from the things that we exiled, but their average card quality is going to be a little bit lower, right? So it feels pretty good. Hey, Pilagore, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I'm glad folks are enjoying. There's going to be a ton of Pioneer this week. My schedule this week is going to be very different from what it has been in recent months. We're only doing 1 day of Arena this week. We're going to do 2 days that we're going to end on Mythgard, and then we've got a bunch of Pioneer and a little bit of Modern. You have a timeline on when Pioneer decks will be added to my website. So there's a page with all the videos up there on it, but as far as like individual deck pages, probably another week or two. So I think we're actually just haggling here through the Possibility Storm. We just want to get set up to lure them out of the game. They're actually just dead on board, right? Could Mythgard become more than 2 days, or the number's not good enough yet? What the volume of Mythgard stuff is going to depend on what the sub-survey looks like. So the sub-survey, in addition to having questions about Pioneer and Brawl, is going to have a question about Mythgard. Can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in their hand. That card is sick. Yeah, you have to join the Discord server using a desktop computer. Can't attack or block unless a player has no cards in their hand. Are they dead? So we get to Petty Theft the Chief, and then we get to Stomp this, and then attack for 6. So that card is sweet, but it now can't attack or block and they're dead. That was kind of sweet, just like the adventure creature beatdown plan. Yeah, that card seems sweet in the format and in their deck, but it's not sweet against Brazen Borrower. Scrubby Ducky, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Yeah, Brazen Borrower is a super playable card. These adventure creatures make your curve look uglier than it is on Moto, because like Bonecrusher and Brazen Borrower are really 2-drops and like Merchant's kind of a 1. So our curve's not as chunky as it actually looks. It's thinner than it looks, I swear, chat. Don't judge it. Juicy Box, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you are. This hand's a little medium. Hopefully, we can haggle into something more decent. We won the second game that match with Possibility Storm. So you're right, the third game we didn't use Storm, but the second one we did. Cast the adventure creature while Storm on board, you get to keep the creature. You do not, actually. Joranel, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hooglandia. And the adventure has to fully resolve for you to get the creature to go into exile. I mean, that's the starting place, Faft. It's easier to build decks that are similar to what we already know than exploring brand new things right off the bat. So I think we're going to haggle away Mountain here. Yep. Stomp. Stomp. I guess we just petty theft this to tempo them a little bit. Thanks for the content. I like Pioneer, but I do hope you won't give up on Arena and Standard. We'll see. Like I said, that's going to be feedback based. If people want to see me slog through some Standard, I'll slog through some Standard. But if the feedback is not a resounding, please play more Standard, I don't intend to play more Standard until they change things. And like, obviously, Wizards could like wake up and fix things, and then like, everything I'm saying now is different, right? So like everything is subject to change based on Wizards packing their shit up in a backpack and getting it together. But like, yeah, this format is definitely what I would refer to as a honeymoon period. And anybody that thinks they know what's good in this format already is silly. If Spell Queller gets turned into an elk, they do not get their spell back. So in other words, it interacts profitably. The survey will go up at the end of the week. I want to do one more week of Pioneer so that way we can have a bunch of decks. I want to do some Brawl on Wednesday so people can give feedback on Brawl. Brawl doesn't, Brawl's not currently looking very promising though, because after having submissions open for a little over a day, I've had 0 Brawl submissions for Wednesday. Are we super dead? Feeling super dead. Well, I can stomp this. And then Borrower can clean up this, but the problem is the Oko 3/3s are just going to kill us. The stream title is Currentian. I refreshed last time. You missed something. It is live. I don't know, Zanlord. It's actually funny. I've actually had a number of Mythgard deck submissions, so I plan to probably just start a queue for that and work through that, similar to what I do for Magic stuff. Can I just rant about that statement one more time? DMS says, a statement I heard for Pioneer is to make sure your deck has 1 or more cards that you think will get banned. That, hey, Sets to Dan, thanks for the 15 months. I hate that statement because it's redundant and it's idiotic because it's just a hipster way to say play good cards. If your goal is to win in Magic, yeah, you should put all the good cards in your deck. If your goal is not to win in Magic, you shouldn't put the good cards in your deck. You could say the same thing applies to Standard, right? Everybody thought Field of the Dead should be banned, you should be playing Field of the Dead. Everybody thinks Oko should be banned, you should be playing Oko, right? Like, that statement doesn't apply specifically to this format. It's just this weird way to say, hey, idiot, play good cards. Ziggs, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. German Space Ace, I appreciate for the 17. And Pancakes for Lunch with the brand new Prime Sport. Thanks for the Bezo Bucks, folks. I appreciate that. Welcome back. After trying out Brawl, I was really disappointed. The card pool feels too small to be interesting. It's just bad standard. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. If it's just bad standard and not actually good. The fact that nobody submitted anything to be played makes me think that's probably the case. How am I sideboarding here? Like, I want a Teferi because they're a little bit grindy. They're playing like a mid-range deck, I guess. Detention Sphere doesn't seem super appealing because they have, like, Abrupt Decays and stuff. Fae of Wishes doesn't really block well, so I think I'm actually just going to trim those and board in this last Possibility Storm. I'll bring an AD Sphere even though it's kind of medium. That's the way Commander is too, it's just bad vintage. Fair. Yeah, Needle for their walkers is probably fine. I keep not using my Prime sub, but I keep watching you every day. Loving Jeff Rant since day dot. Good to have you here, Scar. I appreciate it. Make Miller Tool, welcome with the brand new Prime sub. And make sure, people, even if you're someone that watches me, that you don't drop your Prime sub off here. Make sure you drop your Prime sub off somewhere. Think of using your Prime every month as taking some dollars from Jeff Bezos and sending them my way. If you don't get Brawl submissions, will you treat Wednesday like an NRG standard event? If we don't get any Brawl submissions, I'm gonna find 2 or 3 Brawl decks myself to play, just so I can sample the format and show it off a little bit and see what it is. But if we don't get Brawl submissions, I'm largely going to take that as an indication that people aren't interested in seeing it. So it might not, unless like there's no submissions and then the sub-survey is a resounding, yes, please play Brawl. Brawl probably won't have a future here. Hey, appreciate it, Juicy Box. Can you expand on the problems with Standard? I would recommend looking up BBD's article on tcgplayer.com. I felt pretty in line with the things that he was saying in that article. The TLDR is that the green decks do everything better than everything else, though. Yeah, Brawl submissions were $10. Are $10? Hey, thanks for the 20 months, Cloud. Welcome back. I assume we're going to lose Possibility Storm here. Personal opinion, I want to see, but I'm not clever enough to build a good deck. Yeah, and there's a possibility for that too. So I'm guaranteed doing Brawl on Wednesday. I'm going to do at least 3 decks on Wednesday morning in Brawl. And then, again, a lot of my weight's going to be into not only the numbers on Wednesday and YouTube numbers, but the sub-survey holds a lot of weight. Because, like, the people who sub to me get to dictate the most what we do and when we do it around here. Only makes sense. All right, well, now I was going to wait to haggle, but with them taking my Possibility Storm away, I definitely want to just jam this now. Also lets me get my 2-3 into play. So Brawl is on every day for a full week. For the first week, it's live. And then every Wednesday moving forward. For all the problems with Brawl, it's vastly better than Standard right now. Low bar. Yeah, there's lots of things that are stupid and poorly handled with Arena. That's definitely one of them. I'm going to shock this in so that way I can stomp something and petty theft something. I also might just loot with Merchant of the Veil, we'll see. I have no idea, Just John. I don't think so, but I also don't know for sure. I don't really get involved with paper products. Hot take, shoving a nail through your foot is better than Standard right now. Fair. Bash Lord Lux, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent day wherever you are. I think I'm going to flash in Brazen Borrower and then plan to attack her for 3 plus stomp her. If they have a fatal push, they can fatal push this. Oh, am I gonna get Mystic Disputed? Oh, did they misclick? I think they might have misclicked. I bet they have Mystic Dispute. I'll take it. Yeah, someone already linked the BBD article. And relevant magic-related links are always welcome in chat, just for reference. The Ink approach is playable without dig through time in Pioneer. I have no idea. Take some time and figure it out. There's not a substitute for hard work in Magic. I can't just look into the future and say whether or not something is good or bad. So Petty Theft your token. Deckenstone your Jace. Attack your Oko. Do we, as a community, try hard enough to find solutions to problems with deck/cards? What do you mean? It's not my job to design better Magic cards for them. It's Wizards' job to make formats that don't suck. I think I'm going to play this land out, because playing out a 6th land means I can activate Merchant and Brazen Borrower in the same turn. It's a sweet draw. I'm going to attack Oko here. I think a Soul Flairless could work in Pioneer. I think anything can work in Pioneer if you set your little heart to it. Everything's fine until proven otherwise. Alright, do you have a Mystic Dispute? Yeah, it felt like they had a Mystic Dispute and misclicked when I cast the Borrower. Just who did and saw Oko, thanks for taking care of that. I do what I can. You suspect a dispute, should you just have cast Borrower that turn? I don't know, should I, Tom? Why should I do that? Can you explain? Instead of telling me I'm wrong, can you tell me why you're right? I always appreciate that approach. Why would you think that bans in Standard would never happen again? They banned 2 cards in Standard, Nexus and Frostodon. I think I would be surprised if they're going to emergency ban something, which if they're not willing to emergency ban something, it means bans aren't happening until November 18th, which means Standard's going to be real medium until then. Yeah, but like, am I going to be able to play around a Mystic Dispute at some point, Tom? Like, how long is it going to take me to be able to play around Mystic Dispute, right? Forever? Real medium is a compliment. You're not wrong. Real medium is being too kind. All right, survey says. Did they hit another Courser? That's funny. What cards should be banned in Pioneer? Nothing until proven otherwise. Stop trying to ban things, chat. Just have fun. Have fun and play sweet Magic decks. Not everything needs to be banned all the time. Magic players are so ban happy. Alright, I'm gonna cast Queller now. So I want to see what we hit. I would like to cast Stomp on this Gilded Goose. So when you cascade into one of these adventure cards, you can cast either half. And then when you cast these from exile, they don't trigger Possibility Storm here. So Possibility Storm acts as like pseudo disruption on top of that. I'm going to hold on to Spirebluff Canal because we could draw a Haggle. So they're up to 9 here, and then they're going down to 2. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. The meme value of this deck is off the charts. This deck's really funny. No, but we could Possibility Storm into a Haggle, AGH. So like, if we draw one, obviously it's not going to be a Haggle, but we could Possibility Storm into one. I know it's been said that printing specific cards into Historic was nixed. However, I think printing tools into format to help with problem strategy are more helpful than banning, right? Instead of me telling you you're wrong, Scottish, and validating you, tell me why you're right. Form a logical, cohesive argument. Can you explain to me why you think banning cards is inherently bad? What about banning cards is inherently bad? Because in order for me to engage with your point, I need to understand why you think that. All right, so do I just Detention Stone this Gilded Goose? I guess they float mana off the food and then can then draw a card. But I don't have anything else to do with my mana this turn. I'm gonna Detention Stone this Goose. Go ahead and cantrip your Goose here. Sure, but that's not a symptom of banning, that's a symptom of poor format design. Alright, I think I'm just gonna hold up Spell Queller now. Although maybe I'm just supposed to jam like Teferi here because they could just crack the clue this turn. Yeah. Just read BBD's article and I 100% agree with him. Yep. He's pretty smart. A lot of what he said in there is like echoes things that I've said on stream recently too. Sweet, so we drew the 5th land here, so we can Shimmer plus Teferi pick our Spell Queller back up. Would I rather have a Bonecrusher Giant or another Shimmer? I'd probably rather have Bonecrusher. So again, the way Teferi and Spell Queller interact is with Teferi in play, Spell Queller just eats their spell forever. So they don't get to recast their Liliana here. It's just gone. Oh, and they don't have a land tier for this either, which is great for us. So I get to plus Teferi. I get to stomp on this. I get to hold up Spell Queller. I think we just hold up Spell Queller because we're at 6 lands. This article leads me to the question, does Wizard listen to its high tier players enough? Because if you're both calling it, that's much more likely to be universal among pro players. Everyone is saying, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think these most recent changes, like, it feels to me, I was far from the only person who was like, the format's going to be worse if you only ban field. Like, there were multiple people who said that, and then they banned field, it only banned field, and then, like, the format was worse, like a lot of us were suggesting. For people that are asking me, am I going to play X? You can always see everything we're going to be playing coming up on stream in the deck queue on my website. You can also submit your own deck ideas by using the submit deck form. There's like 30 some odd Pioneer decks waiting to be played. So mostly just running them straight down the queue. Since 2017, there's been more standard bans than modern bans. Yep. Thanks for making me a better player and for so many fun decks over the past half year. Thanks for the 6 months, Chevry. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you are. Up to 1,500 people for Pioneer. That's great to see. You love to see it. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I think I probably bottom Fae of Wishes here. Goose of Paradise. Again, I think it's important to point out that putting all the blame for the current standard format on Oko shows a misunderstanding about like what's good and why in this format in standard. I think a lot of the issues in standard stem from things like Veil of Summer and Nissa and Hydroid Crisis on top of Oko. It's like the perfect mix of things. Yeah, I would even go as far to argue that like Nissa and Crisis or like one-man accelerants are a bigger inherent issue than just Oko. Like, if you could Veil of Summer Oko and not expect it to get one-mana Cryptic commanded, it would be a whole different ballpark, right? Like a big part of the issues surrounding the format are that you can't interact with it. You can't go under the food deck because of Wicked Wolf, Goose, and Oko. You can't go over it because of Nissa and Hydroid Crisis, and you can't profitably interact with it because of Veil of Summer. He identifies basically every card except Oko as key problem cards. That's probably correct. I agree. I also think, and again, this is something I think enough people don't understand, is that like playing with good cards is fun and sweet. I like playing with good Magic cards, and Oko's a good Magic card. Playing with powerful cards is something that I enjoy a lot of the time. Playing with powerful cards being fun is why you see cards like Ponder and Preordain banned in Modern as opposed to the actual payoffs that they're finding. It's why Once Upon a Time is a fundamentally offensive card. My local is having our first Pioneer tournament this Tuesday, and I can't remember the last time I was this excited for Magic. That's awesome to hear. And I've been hearing a lot of that, and it's fantastic to hear. This is the first time in a long time that I was super excited to wake up and play Magic online. I was like, I get to wake up and play Moto tomorrow because I'm super excited to play some more Pioneer. I was looking forward to it, which has not been the case lately. Getting back into paper for the first time in years because of Pioneer. Yep. Alright, let's do the thing. Cries at Historic, yep. Something I've argued a bit at my LGS is that Oko on his own is pretty good design, one of the more interesting planeswalkers, the cards around him. Yeah, I think Oko as a card would probably be fine if he simply had a -1 instead of a +1. Alright, you have a Grim Flare. Alright. So let's take an extra turn here. Declaration in Stone turns into a Shimmer of Possibility. Shimmer finds Merchant of the Veil, so Merchant of the Veil will turn into an extra turn next turn. Shimmer turns into a Deck in Stone. So again, every instant speed adventure card we cast from here on out takes an extra turn. So I'm going to go ahead and stomp their face, which turns into Nexus of Fate, because one Nexus of Fate is our only actual instant in the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this Nexus, and then how we actually win the game from here is I'm going to cast this Bonecrusher Giant that's in exile, because Possibility Storm doesn't trigger on creatures cast from exile. It's only on spells you cast from your hand. I think people are conceding too soon. Like, I don't think we're deterministic to kill them from here. Like, we're a strong favorite to win the game, but I don't think it's deterministic. Yeah, I mean, and like I said in that announcement breakdown, Owl, like, playing Pioneer as a format is awesome. I'm really looking forward to exploring and playing this format. It's just, you know, the implications around Arena that announcement means kind of suck. I think I board out Fae of Wishes against these mid-range decks just because it's super slow. And I think we just bring in Teferi, a D-Sphere, and the extra Possibility Storm. Just the fact that you also get to cast creatures from exile without spinning the wheel is kind of the icing on the cake. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And there's just so many sweet interactions in this format in general, like this, that are worth exploring. All right, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bottom Brazen Borrower here. I want to keep my lands, I think. This deck is not easy to pilot in Paper Magic. It would probably be kind of tedious in Paper Magic. You're not wrong. It's a great hit. Let's draw some lands. Yes, if you don't have another spell of the same type, you just don't. It just doesn't do anything. You just put your spell on the bottom. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. My 2-year-old son also likes it when it's a good mood on stream, especially when you top deck and say "Papi." Excellent. We aim to please. We just like Brazen Borrower temping. Oh, they're down to 1 card. They must have mulliganed. Oh yeah, they went to 5. Yeah. Let's just play Bonecrusher. And then next turn I can double 2-mana spell potentially. This also gives them time to eat some things with the Scavenging Ooze. So like if they kill my Bonecrusher Giant, make their Skoos a 4/4, Brazen Borrower resets the Skoos, which is nice. How do we take advantage of Possibility Storm? Very carefully. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Ender. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Think I'm going to trade these here. Oh, wow. They're both attacking me. I'm actually just going to go to 14 here. I was only going to trade if they were going to attack my Planeswalker. Oh. Fair. Crude. Crude, but fair. Someone who doesn't really follow written magic stuff, thanks to the Highlight and BBD article, I really liked it. Yeah, it was well written for sure. This attack actually seems pretty bad from them, because if I just, like, take a bunch of turns, I can kill them. How do you bump a deck in the queue? You cash them in using the shilling cash-in option. Do I just, like, assume they have a Fatal Push here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I just go to 3, right? And just, like, try and kill them. I don't think I want my Bonecrusher Giant to die to a Fatal Push. Well, I guess they have to cascade into a Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to block there. I don't think it matters whether they're going to win in this set of turns or not. Oh, they'd already cracked a clue. Yeah, you're super right. Oh, I should leave that in hand in case we cascade into a haggle. All right, so we got 2 turns. And again, we're not guaranteed here. We could brick off. Twitch does not support a gambling or betting option with the shillings. And again, like, people were conceding to us, like, we're not guaranteed to get there. There was a Pithing Needle in play for people that are wondering why I wasn't using the Scion. For people that were confused as the game action's going on. No, Nexus of Fate never goes to the graveyard. It's what we refer to as a replacement effect. This hand's great by its stuff. I'm gonna Thought Seize my Shimmer. Borrower won't return Needle. I mean, you literally watched me cast the Borrower, and you watched it turn into a Nexus of Fate. Oh, Twitch chat. Twitch chat. Twitch chat, get a Twitch chat. Lands, please. Rats. There's only 4 1-mana discard spells in this deck, and like, your hand, typically speaking, doesn't get better by mulliganing, so hopefully we just draw a 3rd land. Peak Magic the Gathering, chat. Peak Magic the Gathering. This deck is funny. I don't think this deck's very good, but it's definitely funny. There's actually another build of Possibility Storm. I don't know if someone, did they donate for it yet? Someone submitted another Possibility Storm deck that doesn't look like they donated for yet, so it's not quite in the queue yet, but it has a full combo kill when you combo off, which is sweet. probably just dead at this point. I assume they take the Time Raveler and just run us out. Especially if they have another creature here. Yeah. Okay. Well. The problem is, even if their hands is blanks at this point, Tireless Tracker turns their blanks into new cards, so likely dead. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do 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 beep beep do 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 do. Liliana's Triumph. That's an interesting one. I guess they've been hurt by Bogles. There is a Bogles deck in this format that's pretty mean. All right, we're 2-1. See if we can bat 500 and run back our 3-2. All about the 3-2s, chat. Gotta get that burrito money. This seems like the lowest variance possibilities from the sheet play. I don't think that's strictly true. There's a build that abuses sorcery speed of adventure creatures and turns them into enter the infinite. And then you enter the infinite into a Zakama and kill them, which is kind of funny. You Possibility Storm, and then you cast a sorcery to draw your deck with Enter the Infinite, and then you put Zakama back on top, and then you cast a free Walking Ballista to put the Zakama into play off the top of your deck, and then you give it haste and double strike and attack with it. Hand's pretty good. Get to go Vantage on 1, Port Town, show Sacred Foundry, Shimmer on 2. We're on the play. If they're playing something aggressive, I have a 1/4 we can play on 2 as well. All right, so a Temur version that puts Borborygmos into play and vomits your lands at them. Putting Borborygmos into play is probably better, huh? That actually sounds better. That actually sounds way better. The build with Zakama requires you play cards like Expedite and other cheeky bad cards. And fewer cheeky bad cards seems ideal. Burning Tree Emissary, right? A devotion deck. This is a 2/2 for 2 that when it comes into play, it makes some mana. Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna send that back to their hand just so it doesn't attack for a turn. Oko turned my burritos into elks. So next turn we'll get to Granted for a Possibility Storm and then play Storm the following turn. Which is great. I think we're dead, right? I might have to interact this turn, actually. That kind of sucks. EU interacting, right? This is Magic, we don't interact here. All right, so we're hoping to draw like a haggle at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and grant it now at Sorcery Speaks. I no longer have Teferi. Morning, Jin. Yeah, 1,500 for Pioneer again today is great. Right, they've got some forests. Possibility Storm's a little bit scary in the face of their deck. Golden Experience, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you are. Yeah, I really like the idea of the teamer build that puts Borborygmos into play off Enter the Infinite. That seems really sweet. They have Nissa Vital Force in their deck. Woof. All right, so hoping to find a their elf. Their Nissa turned into a different Nissa, and their Mana Elf turned into a different Mana Elf. That's great. Instant. Adventure creature. Perfect. Alright, so we go Petty Theft you. And again, every instant we cast turns into Nexus of Fate. Bonecrusher Giant and Fae of Wishes cast from exile here do not, they do not trigger Possibility Storm because they're not cast from hand. Huh? So Teferi turns into either Teferi or Royal Scions here. So Fae of Wishes does not guarantee that we cast Nexus again because it's a sorcery. So my Granted, I could pick it back up and Granted, and then Granted could turn into a Shimmer, but it could also turn into a Declaration in stone. Well, this Teferi's not guaranteed to be a Teferi. In fact, statistically speaking, this is a Scion. Because there's 2 Scions and 2 Teferis in my deck. Actually, we're a coin flip. There's 2 Scions and 2 Teferis in my deck. All right, we hit a Teferi. Perfect. All right, so let's attack them. So we're going to pick this up and then cast Stomp to take another turn. We're gonna cast this, which gives us a random. And then Bonecrusher here is gonna go ahead and stomp Elvish Mystic. Then we go to my turn. I don't think this deck's very good, but it's certainly funny. The tire spinning this deck does is incredibly satisfying. It's got some great tire spinning. All right, so this deck in stone is likely a Shimmer. And then Shimmer, hopefully. Finds this Brazen Borrower. And then Brazen Borrower gives us an extra turn. And then Bonecrusher Giant, cast from exile here. Doesn't trigger it. Don't mind me, just doing my thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to kill this Nissa or not. Well, so like they can just pump up Walking Ballista. It's been a bit since I've caught one of the live streams, and of course I come back to Possibility Storm. Thanks for the 7 months, Ninja Mouse. Hope life's treating you swell. Our tires are spinning so fast, right? So do I cast Spell Queller, or do I pick back up? I have 5, 6. How does this work? When I cast a spell, exile cards to the top of their library. Whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, that player exiles card from the top of the library until they exile spell to the same type of them. That player may cast that card without paying its mana cost. They put the exile. So if I have 2 Possibility Storms out, I get double spells, right? Is that how this works? This isn't an intervening if clause. A player casts a spell from their hand, that player exiles it. Because exiling cards from the top of... Is exiling cards judge? How does that work? Does anybody know? Yeah, does that player exiles it break it? You get 2 spells according to Reddit. All right, why would... Reddit would never lie to me, right? Should get 2 spells. Because the only other enchantment to hit is another Possibility Storm here. So this Peace Storm is going to turn into a Peace Storm. Because I have Teferi in play, so my opponent can't currently cast spells. So Petty Theft your Walking Ballista, which means they can shoot something here, but like they can shoot something and I lose the Brazen Borrower. But like, so Teferi and Possibility Storm, I'm glad we got to show this. My opponent can't currently cast any spells. Oh no! Genesis Hydra gets around it, chat. Genesis Hydra gets around it, chat. Oh no! those are bad. That's a bad Genesis Hydra. All right. Well, that... I don't think this deck is very good, but that was great. That was a phenomenal game of Magic the Gathering, which is something I feel like I've been saying a lot of in this format, which is one of the reasons why I've been enjoying it. Like, it was just a neat game. All things considered, the game was neat. Do you have a favorite Pioneer deck so far? I don't. We played a bunch of awesome things. As a reminder, for everyone, I know I play a lot of decks. I tag one or more favorite decks every single day on my website and on my YouTube channel. So if you go to either of those places, you'll be able to easily find what did Jeff like the most today. This is the 4th match in this league. Yep, we're 2-1, up a game here. We're running into a lot of Leyline decks. Which Leyline? The green Leyline ramp deck? That's what we're playing against now, I believe, if so. There's been a lot of variety in the league so far. If we splash green and add Oko, does it make this deck better? Probably not. Have you ever done a Jeff's like... I don't know what that means. Well, this hand could kind of be anything, but like, these cards are technically card disadvantage, so I think I'm just going to mulligan this. This hand seems more reasonable. Right, there's Leyline of Abundance. Yay, free spells. Yep. Yep. Let's just kick that one back from where it came. You do a day filled with only past decks that you're a favorite from past streams, like a greatest hit album. So I'm not really lacking for content is the thing. So like for context, there's currently 50 decks waiting to be played in my deck queue on my website. So to like take a day off to like just play favorites, like I already can't keep up with demand. So like taking a day off seems bad. Well, they're going to have a lot of mana next turn. They have 6 mana this turn, in fact. Deck in Stone would be a good draw. Yeah, Deck in Stone, please. We get 6 looks at it with Shimmer. Ring-a-ding-ding! This is a premium removal spell in this format, by the way. So they get to draw some cards to replace these here, but they no longer have enough mana to cast Ulamog, so I'm going to call that a win. It's been a funny game. Better Legions End. To be fair, Deck in Stone was worse than Legions End there. I actually watched a bunch of the top 8 coverage, Jin, on Sunday. They did a really good job. So to the person who said this is why you split your dorks, my opponent's deck is splitting their dorks. They just have 8 dorks. And again, our combo's not deterministic here, right? So, like, we got our thing going, but we're not, like, guaranteed to beat them. Wake Root Elemental. Things are not looking well for our hero, chat. Things are not looking well for our hero. Was 4 CMC Bolas creature played much in standard? Not in any competitive, not in any like tier 1 decks. So this makes 5 mana for them currently. Pioneer staple Wake Root Elemental. Okay, it makes 6 mana for them now. It's a complicated question, Spat. Our opponents effectively playing the Tron deck of this format. We're definitely the hero. Hopefully we flash in this Brazen Borrower and then we untap and hit a string of adventure creatures. They never get another turn. We just kill them in the air. That would be ideal. Everyone's the hero of their own story, chat. Yeah, their mana was a lot easier to interact with than the average, what's it called? The average Tron deck. So again, these Brazen Borrowers do not trigger Possibility Storm, so they're not being cast from our hand. I think we're just dead at this point, right? This is just going to make things and kill us. All right, game 3 on the play. Do I want, you know, thinking about how that game played out, I think I actually want these muggings in my deck, huh? I think I just want a bunch of ways to kill their stuff. Maybe Fae of Wishes is too slow. I just bring in the last storm and cut these again. That seems fine. Oh! I had D-Sphere in my deck. I should have cast P-Storm, because P-Storm could have hit D-Sphere. Yeah, 10 out of 10 forgot I boarded in another enchantment. So I wasn't just dead there. I could have spun to win. We were 50% to the Detention Sphere there. I disagree. I'm more of the sidekick that's constantly exasperated with the way the story's going. You think Tron's not the bad guy? Why mugging over Spray or Shock? Because if we play any instance in our deck other than Nexus of Fate, we risk hitting those when we have Possibility Storm out. So we have to play mugging because it's a sorcery. So we can't play instance, essentially. So I think we'll just go tap land on one here. Our hand's pretty good here. Being able to stomp their turn 1 dork into Royal Scions sounds great. We've got Brazen Borrower to buy us a little bit of tempo, and then we've got plenty of creatures in exile for when we finally start taking turns. Yeah, Pillar of Flame is not legal. Perfect. Like to stomp all over that one. Get him out of here. Sweet. I think I'm bidding the merchant. I think I just want to keep 5 lands guaranteed here. It's just because it's new. So like it's been almost a decade since this happened, but just like in Standard where there's this honeymoon period where everything is rainbows and then, you know, the world is your oyster, like that same thing's currently happening in this format. Or like it feels like anything's possible because sure, anything's possible. What do we think about just like double borrower here? Yeah, it's probably not good. I'm gonna go Port Town, do this, and I'm gonna deck this elf, and I'm gonna borrower the Jade Light. Thanks for the 10 months, Prince Day. I appreciate that. No, I haven't played against any individual archetype enough to form an educated opinion on them. Death Miss Raptor. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time, chat. Anybody? It's your boy, Death Miss Raptor. Sweet, we have Pioneer Challenge checklist. Awesome. 230 player Pioneer tournament. Sweet. I would like to alt my Royal Scions. Clover does not double copy Possibility Storm. So copies are not casting. They're functionally different. Wow, they have Den Protector in their deck too? That's wild. So I assume they're going to Burning Tree Emissary, or they're going to Oath of Mist. Okay, their hand must be pretty medium. Yeah, I guess. They could just be playing like 4 Death Mist Raptors, though. Gonna send this back from where it came. Yikes, Magic. Let's just do this now. Oh, I could bounce the clue. Yeah, that's fine. If they're sacking a clue this turn, I think that's good for us. I think Blessing Teferi for now is fine. They have a Walking Ballista in their hand that we know about, so we might see Walking Ballista come down here and like shoot the Royal Scion so they can't ultimate. Getting Teferi in on high loyalty makes drawing Possibility Storm better. Because remember, if we have Teferi out and we draw a Possibility Storm, they can't cast more spells. Wait, what? They gotta be casting Walking Ballista this turn, right? They're gonna go like land Walking Ballista for X's 2. If they don't shoot Scions, we should be in a pretty decent spot. Because we're pretty likely to find Possibility Storm. I'll be sending out a sub survey at the end of the week. It'll go out via email on Twitch. Okay, well, I feel like because they didn't respect the Scion ult, we have a real shot here. No, we're definitely just cashing it in. They have a Walking Ballista in their hand. Vomit. A Possibility Storm? Tapped land, attack for 3. Oh, I wonder if they're playing Rattleclaw Mystic. That would seem like it could be a sweet package. Our Brazen Borrowers and our Teferi have been real good at, like, keeping them off tempo. This has to be the... Really, it's not. Okay, so they're just gonna, like, Megamorph here? I guess Megamorphing gets back a bunch of Deathmist Raptors. I mean, janky beatdown plan is basically always the plan. It's just sometimes we take extra turns while we have a janky beatdown. How many Oko decks are in the top 32 of the challenge, by the way? For anybody looking at them? Double digit Oko decks. Okay, yep, not surprised. I believe Oko won every challenge event this weekend. That's great. What's the challenge? A challenge is a large tournament that happens every single weekend on Magic Online. All right, so let's mugging this. Which, if it's a Den Protector, they'll flip it up, which gets back their Deathmist Raptors. So Den Protector gets to pick up something. They're picking back up their Walking Ballista. That makes sense. The permanent you control, face up or face down. Oh, geez, they get to play this. I forgot I could return face down. So this plays around my Declaration in Stone, which sucks. Wait, how does Declaration in Stone interact with Morph, chat? I sub for Standard, but will continue to support you even if you don't play this wretched format. Hopefully WotC takes your advice and needs changes. I appreciate the support, Clowncopter. Welcome back. Morphs do not have names. Name is null. Yeah, okay. Morph isn't a name. That's such a tilt. All right, well. Tokens have a name by default, the name of a certain creature. I think my plan here is Teferi, bounce a Brazen Borrower. So this way, if I hit a Possibility Storm, I can start taking turns. Because I need a creature in my hand to start taking turns. Morph is a static ability that functions in any zone on the card. They have no text, no name, no subtype, no mana. So I assume both of these are dead. Has no name and can't share a name with any other creatures. Look at that. Thanks for the source. Yeah, we're through over half the deck at this point before we got to here. So what are we doing? Well, I need to take this off the table. So let's do that. Don't we just win now? No. So one of the things that's a little awkward about this build is when it gets going, it still sits and spins its tires for a little bit. So like, I get to put my Possibility Storm into play, but we're actually incredibly unlikely to win the game from here, which is like super awkward. Yeah, like I get to take an extra turn, but like, what do I do from there, right? There's mono black vampires in the top 32. That's great. Yeah, a creature land would be good. I don't know, honestly. So like there's a different way to build this with Enter the Infinite. So that way you win the game when you cast Possibility Storm. And I think that's probably the better line rather than trying to like put creature lands in here and hope to win that way. Because like even if I had some creature lands here, we wouldn't have won the game, right? Like the series of like what actually has to happen for me to win the game from here is like super unlikely. They got a Nissa off this Gen Hydra. Gross. All right, we'll take one more draw. We probably did here. Your win count is wasting the opponent's time. Yeah, basically. Oh, no. This doesn't do anything, chat. It doesn't. There's no other. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. So lessons learned. If your combo deck is going to involve a 5-mana enchantment, you should sure as heck make sure it wins the game when you go off. So this was kind of cute. But I think I would much rather, if we're going to try another Possibility Storm deck, I think the build that casts Enter the Infinite and then Borborygmoses the opponent to kill them. So basically there's another way to build this combo where you build it with all sorcery speed adventure cards. And then what you do is you turn your sorcery speed adventure cards with Possibility Storm into Enter the Infinite. And what Enter the Infinite does is it lets you draw your entire deck and then put one card back on top of your deck. And what you do is you put one 0-mana creature in your deck. So you put Borborygmos and Rage back on top, and then you cast your 0-mana creature and cast Borborygmos, and then you discard all the lands that you drew to deal 3 damage to your opponent over and over again with Borby. So basically, that build where you're casting Enter the Infinite instead of Nexus of Fate pretty much guaranteed kills your opponent when you combo, as opposed to this, which is like hoping to string together a bunch of these instant speed ones, which we only have 12 copies of, while attacking a little bit. What happens if you draw Enter the Infinite? Don't. I would recommend not drawing the Enter the Infinite. Yeah, magic-related links are always welcome in chat. All right, so we got 2 more Pioneer decks coming up today before we are done. I'm going to place an order with my sponsor right now to go ahead and grab some cards for this. We're going to be running back this Jeskai Tempo Aggro Hero of the Precinct 1 deck that we played a little bit of before, and then we're going to wrap up later today with, did it delete my deck list? This stupid thing. This is why I export things to text files. We have blue-green Eldrazi as well, which Magic Online has apparently forgotten. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna take like a 5-minute break while I change some orders on. I'm gonna run a quick ad while we do that. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. See you in a bit. Dental plan, Lisa needs braces. Thanks for the 14 months. Fish Slam Clock, I appreciate it. We're gonna start. It's gonna be starting with Jeskai Aggro though. Sweet. MT Joe Traders is everything in stock. Sounds phenomenal. These people are great. Buy their stuff. Shout out to Traders, as always, for hooking us up with everything we need to play Pioneer and other decks on Moto. With Lightning Storm can be better as Storm Chaser Mage. You lose a point of power for toughness but gain prowess. We don't actually have that many instants of sorceries in our deck. So count the number of instants of sorceries we have. It's actually quite low. So no, I think that's worse. That's why I'm not playing it. If this hero deck feels good again, it'll probably be one of the first decks we put up on the website, because it felt pretty good last time. Boros Charm is quite great. Quite excellent, quite charming. The Boros are quite the charming guild. I just did the Wizard survey, and one of the last questions was if I like Brawl to be non-rotating or just standard. Maybe this can be sort of an answer for Historic. Kind of. It's at least them acknowledging that they recognize they need other formats on Arena, right? So my sponsor, MTGO Traders, lends me cards from their stock. Zelda. So I don't own every card on Magic Online because it's prohibitively expensive to do that. Yeah, maybe Scar. Everything works until proven otherwise. Using my shillings to let you know how much I've appreciated your content over the past year. Keep it up. Thanks for being here, Meager. I appreciate the support. Is there a place to mention content creators in the survey for someone who's taken it? If so, you should mention your favorite content creator in there as well as myself.